still in the picture?
No,
He's not in the picture.
he's not.
He never was.
He never was. Out of fear, I'm not making
Mm.
excuses, but out of fear and I don't know how to put it, but he was never in the picture.
So how did you bring the news to your family, or how did they find out? And how did they react? What was their reaction?
Remember I told you, remember I said I had to flee for my life. So
Yeah.
I had this friend in Koforidua. So I called her. I said, I'm coming over to visit. So I went to visit at Koforidua. Then I told her this is my condition. And she asked me to go to my parents. So my mom getting to, by then she had known that I'm pregnant, because on the very first day I write my first paper of BEC, I bled at the hall due to the
alcoholic beverage that
I took. So for us, we thought everything was fine after then. But after my exams, I started showing signs of pregnancy. By then, I didn't want to relocate to the village with my mom. I wanted to stay in Accra. So I took up a job as a kitchen assistant. And then my madam got to see the signs and told my caretaker about it. I see some changes. I feel like your daughter is pregnant. So she then called my mom. So before the news will reach me, it means that, oh,
you're in trouble.
so I had to flee.
Yeah.
So they had to, manage to bring me back home. And when I got home, there was a meeting. My stepdad and I and my mom. How did you get yourself pregnant? Do you want to keep it, or what do you want to do? And that was.
You stay trapping hard. You stay trapping hard.
Welcome back. We're still on the Whitestone Podcast 1876. Mandy, you were telling me about your parents' reaction, your mom's reaction when she found out you were pregnant.
Yes. Even though although I didn't have a biological father growing up, I had a stepdad who stood in for me. And they were all furious, considering the plans they had for me, or the plans on ground, and also the fact that I was a minor, 16 years. They were very angry. My mom was emotionally depressed, and anxiety sets in. So, but then my stepdad helped her to treat the whole thing with maturity. So we had a meeting and we discussed about the way forward.
Okay, so your level of education then, you had just completed your BEC, I guess, basic education.
I had just completed my BEC. My results were not even out yet. And then I'm pregnant.
So with the way plans were you able to further your education?
No. At the moment, at that point, no. I opted for an abortion. We went to the hospital, and the doctor said it was too late. I was 3 months, 2 weeks pregnant, and then it wasn't going to happen. So, oh yeah, go back home and give birth, because that is what you wanted to do.
Yeah.
So now enjoy. And that was how it started. Yeah.
So now you're pregnant. You can't abort. You have to go through the process. How did you deal with the physical changes, the hormonal changes, physical changes that comes with being pregnant?
Being pregnant comes with a lot of changes, mental, hormonal, physical. You can't hide your tummy forever.
Yeah.
So it starts coming out. And when it starts coming out, people start to talk about it. And you just have to embrace it. At that moment, I just have to, embrace what life has for me. So I was mostly refrained. I was mostly indoors. I shunned myself from the public. I cried most at times. Yeah, it's normal. So my parents were supportive sometimes, and then sometimes they get me, very mad and crazy.
So that means you sort of went through some sort of depression at that stage,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Okay. So did you ever consider doing anything negative or react in a negative way going through that process?
Sometimes I thought suicide. I thought suicide because, as a parent, aside the physical support, financial support, you still have to give your children the emotional support, and that is what we lack in our African homes. So I didn't get the emotional support I needed. So I went through depression. I sometimes thought suicide.
So did you feel your parents could have done better
Of course.
at handling the situation?
Of course. But then I don't blame my mom, because she was also dealing with, as an only child, you have an only child and you put all your hopes in her, and everything gets messed up. It's like putting all your eggs in one crate and they all get broken. So she was going through a lot at the moment. So she was venting all her anger on me. We put you in school, you get yourself pregnant, we give you all the best, you get yourself pregnant, you're giving me an extra stomach to feed. The guy is nowhere to be found because he doesn't want to show up, he's scared and stuff like that. So at that point, my grandfather was on his sick bed. So from time to time, he's of late memories right now. He will call me. We thought he wasn't aware of the whole show.
Yeah.
But he will call me when there's nobody around, and he'll be like, "You are a great person. You will do well. God will bless you. Your children will grow and become someone prominent."
Yeah.
So he spoke life into me.
Yeah.
There was this day, I learned that when you grind bottles, or you put battery into water and you drink,
It will terminate them.
no, you die.
Wow.
That's what I heard. So I had this bottle grinded, and I carry it everywhere I go.
So you were suicidal.
So there was this day I took it out. I was sitting on my bed. The water was close to me, and I was just about mixing it and drinking it up. And my grandfather called me. Just at the moment he called, she was like, "Precious, come, sit here." He started talking to me, and that was it. Then that week, he died.
He died. So Mandy, I'm sure the death of your grandfather had a negative impact on your emotional thinking and psychological thinking at that point while you were going through this depressing phase. Can you tell me a bit about that?
My grandfather passing away was like my source of light taken away, because he was the only source of console. So yes, it had a negative impact, but then it also gave me life. It pushed me to go harder, because I always remember his words. I always remember his words, and it gave me hope and gave me confidence that all is well.
At that point, what was your relationship with your friends, your peers, your classmates, those that you grew up with? What was your relationship with them like? Did you have any person in particular that you could talk to, offload on? Was there any stigma, anything of that sort, or you had that support from your friends and your classmates? How was it like?
At school, I was among the top 5. When my results came out, I did very well. So imagine, and then I was the school prefect.
Wow.
Yes, I was the school prefect. So it's made me to shy more. I hid myself. I shy away from public. I became timid. So with my friends, no. Peer relationships, no. Social stigma, yes. I don't go to any, I even if you call me with a number today, tomorrow you won't get me. Because I don't want anybody to know I'm pregnant. Yes, the Mandy, the precious, they know pregnant. How? I just can't go with it. So yes, it's really gave me.
Talking about your friends, what about your parents? Did they feel like some sort of stigma when it comes to their friends as well, and people at church? The people they related to. Did they feel like people were stigmatizing them, or people looked at them a certain way? Maybe you didn't bring up your child properly. Do you think they felt a certain way?
In the rural areas, there's this kind of connectivity, family, extended family lineage and stuff. So when you have a problem, everybody wants to come and see what problem you have. Day in, day out, I have family members coming in. Oh, I heard Lara is pregnant. What happened? They want to get the story. They want to know the almighty Lara is down. Yes, so of course, my mom got depressed. It really had a negative impact on my mom, because she was like this in the family, as a family head, and as an insurance from business. So yes, it's had a negative impact on my mom, and I'm so sorry.
So can you tell me a bit more about what you went through? I mean, we've talked about all the impacts, the influence that the pregnancy had on you, but life after getting pregnant, until you put to bed, until you had your baby, how was it like?
All this, it wasn't easy. I spoke about fiscal needs, financially. My mom was there. Fiscally, my stepdad was there. When I put to bed, my stepdad was there as my husband. Yeah. So
he stood
supported me
as the father of your
child.
child.
Yeah, he took the responsibility, running helter skelter. My mom going for labs, going for the is it X-rays or something? Yeah. So, and then financially
going for antenatal and all that. Your step.
As for the antenatal, you go alone. Nobody send you to get pregnant. You will go alone. Yeah.
And what was the reaction of the nurses? Excuse me to say, but most of the time Ghanaian nurses are known to be a bit, biased and stigmatized. They stigmatize young girls that come with, pregnancies and all that. What was, going for antenatal, your hospital visits? How was it like?
It was good. My nurses were supportive, because I had a grandmom whose daughter, an extended family member, working at that unit. So they placed me in good hands. And then the doctor, how I forget his name, but then he was good. And one thing is that when you the light, when people see the light in you, they give you all the support, because I was brilliant.
We stay trapping hard.